So, well, first of all, thanks to Geeta Ben and Sister Lisa and everyone who took, chose me to be part of this insightful dialogue and to be presenting you the topic today. So just to let you know, I'm in Boston and it's 8 p.m. for us here. And so you still have 3 more hours to go to reach 8 p.m. and we'll be soon going to bed in an hour and a half or so here. And interestingly, like you heard, I'm a software engineer, and usually this is a topic that is given by those who are in the healthcare profession, holistic healthcare, doctor, and all those things. And this is not necessarily a topic of my kind. I would be usually talking about positive thinking, stress-free, but during this whole pandemic, and there have been different kinds of talks. There have been different kinds of talks that have been given, but this is something that that kind of dawned upon me about what actually I am doing while different sorts of things are going on in the world about staying put, staying well, and staying happy. And upon reflection, just looking at my own self, I felt, well, how am I actually taking care of myself? And I came up with some of these things, and it was quite interesting for me to just to know what I'm doing, and then also to share with others how I'm taking care of myself, so to speak, my inner self, like really well-being. And so that's kind of how this, and when LA reached out to me, this is something that I was already preparing myself to share with others here. I thought, well, I'll share this with LA first. And so here I am talking about this topic. So this is about not so much about physical well-being that you all know very well how to take care of, but what I do want to say today is that how taking care of our inner well-being will actually take care of the physical well-being as well. So we'll focus more today on inner well-being, and instead of it being a straight talk, I thought it would be good to say 10 points, so to speak, to share, so it's easy to remember 10 points. And also these are more like what we can do to integrate it to be part of our life. So that's what we're going to talk today. So before I share my thoughts, I thought it will be good to have a rundown of this in a short clip of a video. Okay, so one of the youth here prepared this for me today, last minute request, and so it came out to be for today's talk. So if you don't mind, let's see this, watch this video for 2 minutes, then you know what exactly I'm going to talk today for the next 45 minutes or so. So thank you, and I would request to play the video now. Okay, great. Thank you. So that's the, in essence, what we're going to talk today, 10 points about our inner well-being. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. Okay. So what is this inner well-being? Again, I want to emphasize that no matter what the physical conditions of our world, our surrounding, our body is, how well am I doing uh, inside? How is my mind? How is my day going? And what about my social all life that I am involved with? So how well it is. So when I thought about this, I came up with these points, kind of a defining inner well-being. Inner well-being is where my mind is in a positive state, and which involves my thinking, which is my awareness and attitude towards life, towards everything that happens in life, and the vision, how I see things, with what understanding I see things and people, everything. So it involves all of these things, a positive state of mind. Happy mood, like it's important, how my mood is, am I influenced by my mood, my people, or am I influencing people? So what kind of a mood I am in. Stress is something that we all go through stress. Nobody, I think, is without stress, but how you manage it in yourself, how you deal with it, how you have cope up with it is important. And feeling good. Um, these days we talk about feeling good factor, how good you're feeling about everything that you are going through, you make yourself in such a way you are able to feel good no matter what. And well balanced, very important. I think these days a lot of problems in our life is because we are out of balance in some, in different areas of our personality. So if I were to say a good inner well-being, these five things are kind of taken care. Okay, so to be able to live a life which encompasses these five things, what are the 10 things that we had to look into? So that's what we're going to go through now. First, good morning. So we say good morning to many people, but is it really a good morning for you? Or is it really another morning, right? Um, in the Brahma Kumaris, we emphasize a lot on early to bed, early to rise, makes the man healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is an old saying, proverb that has been there in existence for a long time. But it is important for us to actually pay attention to this, why it is said like this. You know that morning hours are like the preparation period at a time that is going to influence pretty much the whole day. Whatever you want to do during the day, kind of a prototype of that will happen in the morning, or your mind actually can prepare for what you're going to experience, do, say, think, act, everything during the day. All of that kind of can be prepared in the morning. So morning is actually pretty crucial, and how you take care of your morning. Many times we hear people saying that, you get up in the morning and like, oh, it's another day, or it's a Monday, or it is, how am I going to deal with this today? You don't want to wake up like that. And so for a morning to be a good morning, how you wake up is very important, and what kind of thoughts you have in wake up in the morning is very important. I recommend that when you wake up in the morning, your first thought should be, you know, it's going to be a great day. Thank God I have another day to live. Yeah, it's another opportunity for me to try something that didn't go well yesterday. Every morning, new sunrise, every morning, fresh air, a new beginning. So the thought process in the mind, it's really a good morning for us to manifest for the whole day something totally new, creative, a beautiful energy into our life. So that's the mindset we want to start our day, the morning in. If when I wake up in the morning, I don't have these kinds of thoughts, then that's what is going to influence the whole day in different shapes and forms. I know many of us may not be, you know, morning people, morning person, right? Like we stay late at night. We say I'm a night person, I'm a morning person. But it doesn't matter. Whatever time you wake up, see if you can wake up a little early, right? You may know Brahma Kumaris, we wake up at very early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's well and good if you are able to do that, but you don't have to. You can wake up even at 6. But when you wake up, what you think is very important. Yeah. And you already probably know all of these things if you have been hearing the talks in the Brahma Kumaris, that we certainly do not recommend you to turn on the TV or read the newspaper, start texting. No, they are actually influencers on you to deviate your mind to something that may not necessarily be going to be positive. You have to take time to be in solitude in the morning. And that solitude is a very crucial period in the morning. I started waking up early in the morning, starting, I don't even remember now, probably 16, 17, around that time. Actually, no, even before that, 14, 15. Um, it's really been, I should say, if there is one thing that has helped me the most in my spiritual journey, is waking up in the morning. And your mind works differently, and it's going to be a crucial part of our well-being. Okay, and a couple of things in the morning, simple thing that you can do is, after um, thinking about what I just said, to even simply schedule your time. Okay, what you're going to be doing today, it could be very, very simple things, and just having a timetable and some sort of a discipline that you're going to create. Because if there is no discipline, then your mind is going to simply wander off here and there. Sometimes you may think discipline is kind of rigid, but actually it's a discipline that's going to really give you a true freedom. If you know what you're going to do when, what you're going to think when, um, that sort of a discipline will help you to be free during the day. You don't have to be keep thinking about it, what you have to do. Okay, so making the morning good. Next, in order to make the morning good, you also have to make the night good. Okay, because it's, you know, it's a really cyclic. Things are cyclic in nature. How you go to bed actually is going to make the morning accordingly. How you spend your day, your night is going to be according to that. So we had to start somewhere. Night, you know, we do so many things during the day, you know, so many interactions, success, failures, you know, stress, or so much happens, and so much of media, so many messages, and all of those things have like consuming the whole day. If you can see this, like you're consuming constantly the whole day, so much of information. And so you think it's just going to be there just like that. It's actually going to also work on you at a subconscious level, even when you're sleeping. Yeah, spiritual studies have been showing to us that when you're sleeping, whatever has happened during the day, that's going to kind of, it's in the flow, so to speak. You know, how the food that we eat, it's working on us even at night. Like that, even the information, things that has happened during the day, it's actually working on us even at a very subconscious level. That's why dreams and um, insomnia, all of these things are because of how we deal with things during the day and how we actually end our day. Very important to have a good night, ending the day in a good way. We recommend to you that, okay, a couple of things. One is, again, you probably know all these things, that not to go to bed with watching the TV and, uh, watching, texting, WhatsApp, all of those things. However, start winding down at least an hour before, if possible, or at least half an hour before. And you're winding down, you don't have to be just sitting down somewhere. It could be even kind of stepping back from these interactions to the mundane things of to people, to media, to emails, all these things. But start like thinking about, okay, what was it? What was one good thing that went well today, or what's few good things that happened well today? I call this as a sandwich method. So one is, first thing is, what was the best thing that happened today, or what is one good thing that happened today? What was the most crucial thing that I felt very good about today? Okay. Second thing is, what is it that I didn't do well? What was it that made me upset? Or where did I react? Where did I go into ill feelings? Whatever that, it could be a negative thing, not so good thing, one thing that was not so well. And the third thing you want to ask is, what am I going to do differently tomorrow? A sandwich. So good thing, tomorrow, in between, not so good thing, right? So when you're trying to wind down your day, at the end of the day, use this method. So what's happening actually, instead of your mind trying to resolve itself at a subconscious level through different ways and means, you are actually making a conscious choice to resolve things. So when you do this, when you sleep, you are free. And that's very important. Sleeping or going to bed, being lighthearted, free-minded, is a key component for our well-being. If I don't do this, then there is no, uh, when you wake up in the morning, you're kind of carrying a stale energy. And like in India, what we did when I was there, at least, parents taught, okay, you get the milk from the farmers, or the fresh milk one day, but then if there is a leftover milk, you had to transfer it to another pot, and you had to clean that pot so that the next morning you can put a fresh milk in a clean pot. Otherwise, if you put tomorrow's milk in the same pot that is for today, that milk also might get spoiled. Yeah. So in the same way, our mind, our inner being is like a pot. So you want to make sure that it is able to have new energy every day. And so for that, you have to clear the old energies. So having a good night is a way for us to kind of settle down, let it go, become free. And an important thing is that take a moment to really thank. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, that to really thank for any opportunity you had today. So for example, I'm going to thank when I go to bed today, like, oh, thank God I had an opportunity today to just even share what I know. There are many things happen today, but I'm just sharing, this is an example. Thank God I had an opportunity to meet, uh, my spiritual family, so to speak, on the other part of the country, and have a conversation. It's an opportunity that I had. So it could be simple things. Thank God you had a good meal today. Appreciation is very important. So before going to bed, instead of saying what didn't go well and sleeping in kind of resentment, sorrow, whatever, it's good to actually bring a good ending, knowing that there is another opportunity tomorrow if things didn't go well. Okay, so that is good night. Third, we all have a choice. At every moment in our life, we have a choice. Okay, and so what choice you are going to make is important. Obviously, you want to make a choice to be positive, right? There are things that bring negative energy into us. We call them as vices or negative energies. They're listed here, anger, impure desires, greed, attachment, ego, many more, jealousy, hatred, dislike, so many things are there. And we know some of times we feel them inside ourselves. But the choice you're going to make is that, okay, I may have this, but I don't want to use it. I don't want to act using that. I don't want to bring it into, I don't want that to manifest in my actions. I'm going to work on resolving it, dealing with it. Consciously, unconsciously, you want to make the choice to stay positive and abstain from these negative energies. And we learn that a lot of our physical illnesses have a very deep rooted connection to our mind. That's what they call a psychosomatic. And so what you think and how you feed yourself with these negative energies eventually have a physical impact. One of the doctors, and again, I don't know how they do this research, I'm not in that field, but I just learned that like if a person gets angry, that's one of the negative energies. If a person gets angry, the energy of that anger has an impact on the body for the next several hours, because that anger, it creates toxins or whatever, and that, to get rid of that from the system takes several hours. And we know that toxins are not good for the body. So if those are not good for the body, then these are not good for the mind either. And so we had to like make right choices, understand what's right, what's not right, and not to come into reactive mode. And you have a choice to stay positive. And there is one nice thing that I learned recently, that to stay positive in any situation, because we're so trained to react, right? We're so trained to say, no, it can't be like this, or get into arguments and get frustrated, or feeling, attached to our things or ideas. So any situation you are feeling negative, or you have a tendency to feel negative, you want to say at that time, your first thought should be, all right, it'll be okay. It's okay, no problem. First saying, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. It is okay, it is all right. A positive affirmation. And then when you do that, it's like you are giving space in your mind to think differently. If I don't do that, then reactive mode, no space, because I'm consumed by this emotion. You understand? So we had to be able to give space. And so first thought could be, okay, it'll be all right. I'll be okay, no problem. So that positive affirmation will help to bring new energy and stay positive. And our thoughts should be, with action oriented, meaning to say, instead of saying why, like these questions like why, how, who, when, how, all of these things. Instead of, that's what happens, right? Many times, why did this happen? How can this be? Instead of asking those questions, what can be done? So changing those negative things into what can be done. Of course, to understand this, you can ask those questions, but not from the place of reaction. Yeah. So to have this plan, okay, it will be all right, and also what can be done, and stay positive. This is one of the crucial parts of well-being, that how I maintain my day-to-day interactions and bring this beautiful positive energy into ourselves. We believe that at the very core, we're all positive. Yeah? If I were to ask you a question, right, that when you come out of your home, yeah, and um, and I'll say take when you take a left turn, you'll find the people who are angry and jealous and hatred, all those things. And if you take a right turn, you're going to meet the people who are lovely and peaceful. And what would you do? You'll take a left turn or you'll take a right turn? Who will take left turn? Can people interact, or is it muted? You can maybe you can do the raise your hand in the Zoom. Who will take left turn? Nobody. Okay. Who will take right turn? Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, isn't it? Why? It's like no brainer. It's obvious, but that is telling to us that that's our like innate nature. That's our true nature. That's we automatically respond to what truly our innate is. So at the very core, we are all positive in nature. And these things are something that we have acquired in the journey of our life. And so when we know this, then we can strive to make right choice. Okay. All right. So next, food and drink. One second. Okay, so food and drink is another crucial part of our well-being. There is a saying, as is the food, so is your mind. Yeah. So in other words, whatever you eat, it actually influences your mind. Sometimes we don't think there is a connection because food is for the body, and um, uh, the food is for the body, and thoughts and meditation and the things are for the mind. But actually, there is a deep connection between both. Okay, so we say that it is not only what you eat, but actually how you cook, what you eat, when you eat, and how you eat. All these things are important. Yeah, the energy of the food. Like for example, especially now, and many of us witnessed this during this in the earlier parts of this pandemic this year, where lockdown began. We saw that how many people took so much of food away from the stores because of having the fear tomorrow we may not be able to get it. And there were many who didn't have, what they wanted. Just imagine the energy that when you don't have what you need, what kind of an energy you will be radiating, emitting, energy of, oh, I don't have, negative. And so in the same way, today in the world, we are seeing a lot of things happening, whether it is injustice at one level, or people not having the right state of mind. And so when those kinds of energies are out there, and people who may be growing those things, even if they are consumed by those energies, when I'm eating that food, it actually has an impact on me. And so that is why when we eat food, before we eat, when we cook the food, to be able to bring our mind to a positive state and cook that food. And when you eat, stay in that positive state, peaceful state, happy mood, and then to eat that food. Then that energy, so you're like, just like, we these days we add vitamins, this and that, while we eating the food. In the same way, there's also energy. So these energies, when we add to our food, that actually uplifts our mind, brings our mind to a happy mood. So one of the factors that we talked about. I can say myself, when I made a change in my diet, in my food, about cooking myself and not cooking certain things, I could actually feel a difference in the way of my thinking. It is very obvious. And so you can experiment this when you make the food, food and drink a priority, to take care of yourself in cooking in the right way, eating in the right way. You will notice a difference in your mindset, how you think and how you actually respond to things, all of that. So cooking is a big factor. We all of us eat every day, and but I would recommend or encourage that to really pay attention to this. There probably are classes also available in the centers about cooking in consciousness. In other words, how to cook and what to cook, and how it actually has an impact on our mind. One of the yogis in our headquarters once said that if one is serious on their spiritual path, yeah, and if one is serious in bringing a very pure state of mind, then half of that journey can be accomplished by paying attention to the food. That's a lot, isn't it? Half the journey can be done well if we pay attention to the right, what we eat. So that's why, for our well-being, food plays a very important role. All right, number 5, meditation. How many of you meditate here? I think many of you probably do. Okay, all right. So many of you do. Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you. So you all then know, and just adding one thing here is the word meditation comes from this word mediri, which means to heal. So when you practice or do meditation as part of your everyday routine, once a day, more than once a day, many times during the day, mornings and evenings, you are giving an opportunity for your mind to recharge. Yeah. And because we get so much bogged down into our actions of the day, so many things during the day, job, family, so many things, or health, so we kind of lose the touch with our core, with our true values, sometimes with our true self. And so meditation helps us to get in touch, kind of disconnecting from other things, and it helps us to get in touch and realign our decision making in our compass or our thinking, what to do, what not to do. It helps us to come back to, almost like we can say, it helps me to come back and sit on my seat where I can make the right choices. We talked about earlier choices. So that's why it's important to be able to. Um, it's not that I meditate when I have a time. In fact, I make time to meditate. Sometimes we say, I try to meditate before I go to bed. I say, well, how it's going to help you? You have to, just like you eat food every day, you don't say, well, I try to eat when I have time. No, like we have to take time. We have to make time because this is part of our well-being. You want to be grounded, you want to be well, you want to take care of yourself. In this, especially, connecting to the source is a very important thing. There are many types of meditation. One of the uniqueness in the Brahma Kumaris is that the way to change the pattern of our thinking, the way to transform our deep rooted habits, we need power, we need strength. And that strength comes from the divine source. And so when we meditate, we are making that a connection. The practice of meditation we do here is called Raja Yoga, right? So Raja means master, king, and the yoga means connection. So yoga is connection. So where me, I, the being, spiritual being, I'm connecting to the source, the divine source, and making that connection. And in this connection, there is empowerment that is happening. This empowerment is a process of recharging, or is a process of actually cleansing. So all those negative energies or lack of strength within you, or any deep-rooted habits that you say, I don't know why I can't just remove it. You can get rid of those things when you have this connection. Okay, so meditation is a very important part of well-being. And if you combine this getting up early in the morning and you make the first thing in the morning as time for your meditation, that's the best thing. Because one, the atmosphere out there is still pure, so to speak, meaning to say, many people may be still resting, sleeping, and their mind is not active, and the energy is fresh in the air. And so, and you're fresh in your mind, your day has not begun, your mind has not been polluted yet with many different thoughts. And so that's why we recommend first thing in the morning for meditation. When you do that, then you're giving a stock of power for yourself to run for several hours during the day. Okay, so number 5 is meditation. Should I pause and ask if you have any questions now, or you want to wait until the end? Snehaban, maybe you can answer, or Sister Lisa?
Yes, everyone can unmute and speak if they want to.
Okay, I'm not saying at the end. Okay. Okay, any comment about eating onion and garlic? Okay, so a good question regarding the food. Um, Food, as I said, it plays an important role in how it shapes our mind, or how it actually influences our thinking. There are 3 types of food. Um, Sattvic, we say, very pure. Rajasic, samai, and tamasic, impure. And so we recommend, so there are 3 types of food: Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic, pure, semi, and impure. So we recommend sattvic food. And sattvic food means a food that is purely vegetarian and that does not pure vegetarian um, and no onion and garlic. Okay, and so okay, there is a question about which negative thought is responsible for which disease. Uh, I'm not sure if I'll be able to answer that question exactly like that because I'm not a doctor. But what I do know is that there was a research done in our headquarters where they say how each quality, um, for example, peace has an impact on our lungs. So it's going to improve the lungs. Love has an impact on our heart. So like that, every quality has an impact on our wellness of our organs. So instead of looking at what negative would do what, I can say what positive quality can actually improve the health of your organ. So onion and garlic and things like that, they have a tendency to create certain hormones in our body that create a negative effect on our mind. So that's why we recommend not using those things. And um, one of the health styles, it may be very good for the body. Many people say, oh, it's very good for the body, it does this and that. But it's not this is enough what is good for the body. You also have to think of what's good for the mind, isn't it? So um, what's good for the mind is what's good for the body also. Okay. All right, someone is asking, you may want to repeat 3 parts you mentioned for the sandwich method. So I'll come back to that at the end so I can repeat it again. Um, okay. So why don't I just share it right now itself? So I was talking about good night, and in that the sandwich method is for, so basically you want to make your um, day ending well before you go to bed. And so for that, a lot of times people sleep, um, there are many ways, people want to forget what has happened during the day, and so they watch TV or do this and that, and try to you know um, divert the mind and sleep, but then it won't go away. It's in the mind, so it still lingers around and affects our subconsciousness. So the method that we recommend is that before going to bed, first thing you want to do is, what was it that was very good today? What did I do well? What was the best thing today? What came out to be best? How did I do well today? Something good that it went well. Second thing is, what did not go well today? Hmm? What was it that, where did I react? I was upset, I was angry, or no, that's second one. Third, what can I do things differently tomorrow, knowing that there is another opportunity tomorrow? So this way, you don't go to bed feeling bad about things that happened, not so good. You don't go to bed thinking everything was great and nothing else needed to be learned, but you really kind of ending the day in such a way that it can be taken care, and you're resolving and making yourself free. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Next is attitude of gratitude. I feel this is really one of the, I mean, all 10 things are important, but these days I have learned it is so important to appreciate. Yeah. Um, I work with many people, and I don't know why there is a lot of talk about what does not go well in life. So and so does this, they are like this, like that. And I feel that, okay, there are things like that, but where is my focus is very important. And so There are many things to be appreciative for in our life. What is my attitude is very important. So this old saying, do you see glass full or glass empty? Right? Is it half full or half empty? Where is your focus is important. So am I focusing on the things what are going well, or am I focusing on the things what's not going well? I encourage appreciate everything that you have in your life. Today, if you look at the world, so many problems. People don't have the basic needs, and many of us are living at least comfortably. We have to appreciate that, right? Mm, like that. That's just an example. Many things like that to look and see, thankful for. Appreciate everyone in your life and appreciate everything in your life. Even the nature, for example. I know in California right now it is not such a good thing because of all the smoke that's going on. I hope things have become better now. Um, but even the nature that is providing the food to us, am I appreciating that I'm able to get this food from nature? You know, people who are working out there for us, during this pandemic, am I appreciating them? So many things to appreciate for in our life. And um, I mean, I do this, when if someone has cooked food and I say thank you for the food today. If someone has made a special food, it is turned out to be good. Instead of saying just okay, I feeling myself it was a great food, but I had to at least express that thank you. It was a great food today. It was very nice. It was a tasty food today. To even say express that is important because that energy of appreciation from you is creating a very nice energy, positive energy in your mind, and that makes you feel very good. And you're making the other person feel very good. That's very important part in relationships. I must say that this was not in me before. I remember like uh, when I was growing up, my brother, he used to appreciate my mom all the time. Mom, the food was great today. I never did that. I like, not that I didn't want to do, but it was not part of my consciousness. But later I realized, wait a minute, he was always appreciating whether it was good or not. He always said something to my mom, like saying it was so good, like that. Just imagine how happy it would have made her. So, like that, anything that others do for us, it's always good to kind of acknowledge, appreciate, and not just verbally thank you, not, you know, like that from the heart, to be able to say thank you or appreciate. And it's our ego that does not actually let us appreciate things or people think, oh, they may take advantage of me, or how would we think they may ask me more. No, you just appreciate. Rest is later. Yeah. And um, I say that if you can, and this is an important exercise, if you can, um, every day, take 10 things that you are appreciative for. What are the 10 things at least I can appreciate today? Yeah, you think you can do this? 10 things that you can appreciate. Very because if you're able to come up with the 10 points that you can appreciate things in life for, you will notice that your mind will not have space to complain things about in life. Not only that, that sort of thinking will help to overcome the weaknesses in mind. And so give it a try. Or if you cannot find 10 things, 5 things, I'm sure you'll be able to find, isn't it? Like we all, good people here, and we know so many things we have to, we take things for granted, but no, sit back and look at your day, look at your life, and see what are the 10 things, and they should be different every day. Okay, so I challenge you to find 10 things every day that you had to have appreciation for. Number 7, art of letting go. So very important, especially in our relationships, in everything in general, but in relationships especially, or in our own life. Things do happen, right? And many of us get stuck in what happened in the past. Yeah. And our mind, so situation has gone by, it's already over, things have changed, people have moved on, but one may be still stuck in the past. A few months ago, someone was saying, like 7 years ago, this person told me this. I was like, wow, you remember even that still now? And they're holding, remembering means they're holding in their heart like sort of a sorrow. That's definitely not good, because that sort of an energy is what creates the blockages in our mind, in relationships, and even for our own progress, in life. Because whatever we hold in our mind as a resentment, as guilt, as um, you know um, ill feelings, those things actually block the energy to flourish in our life. Yeah, very important. That's why that things do happen. I have to kind of make a decision on it. I allow myself to move forward. I allow someone else to move forward. I always say this, our life is like a flowing river. Hmm? How nice the flowing river is, right? We always go to see the rivers that are flowing, um, fresh. It's always, and whereas stagnant water invites all kinds of dirt and bugs and all of those things. It's not good. So if I am holding on the things from the past, that is like a stagnant water. So that's where you're growing negative energies within you. So what you have to do to let go? Hmm? Simple thing, whatever that is, say, okay, that happened, you know it yourself, you learn a lesson from it. Whether someone did something or you did something, you learn a lesson from it. Things happen in life for us to learn a lesson. Not everything can be learned in books. Okay, not everything can be learned in a talk. Many things you learn by doing, by experiencing things in life. And so, and not everything can be learned by only doing good things. Some things happen, it just happens, you don't know. um, it's all right. You made a mistake, someone made a mistake. It's time to forgive and move on. That second point we talked about, good night. If you're able to do it on a regular basis, day-to-day basis, you're letting go on that day itself. If you can't, if things are deeper in life, take time out and to come to terms with yourself, to let go. Mm. But your forgiveness is very important. When you forgive, then you can forget and move on. Okay, so letting go. Okay, so coming to the part about happy mood and feeling good. Learning to live for ourselves is definitely important, but learning to um, serve for serve others and then live for others is even more important. So the point here is to serve, to spend time in helping others. I don't know if you have noticed it. Um, you are actually in Many times it may almost feel like you're more happy when you get things in life, but actually you're even more happy when you give things in life. Mm. I I heard this one time ago. If you have like one candy with you, you only have one candy, you like to eat it, and you have your friend, he also likes to eat it, she also likes to eat it. Normally, what we do, okay, we both like to eat it, let's split into half, and you eat half, and I eat half. Both are happy. But let's say if you can't split it, okay, if you give that to the other person to eat instead of you eating, you'll be more happy. Why? If you yourself ate, you experience happiness for that short time. You know that, okay, your tongue is pleased and you're happy, you had the taste of it, it was very good. But when you give the other person, when they had it and they felt happy, their happiness actually became a long lasting energy for you, good feeling for you. Okay. And so that energy, that good feeling within you, one second. So that energy, that good feeling from others is like a blessing that is coming towards you. This energy actually lasts longer than that short-lived, temporary, um, fulfilling thing for you. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here is that is just a chocolate example, but actually what you give to others is very important. And we say serve others, make time, take time to make others feel good or happy. There are many ways we can serve, even to your thoughts, words, your, you know, to your actions, your body, mind, wealth. Sometimes you may not be able to do many other things, but just through your mind, just having good wishes for others is a great act of serving. Yeah. So words of wisdom, to make, someone feel good. Maybe just your time, your presence, being there for someone, caring for someone, very important. So taking time to serve, in other words, make a difference in someone's life, every day in someone's, I mean, not your family, of course. You have to take care of your family, that's your responsibility. Someone beyond that, out of your way, or above beyond your normal comfort zone, taking time to um, share, give something to someone. But the most important thing here is your focus is on, giving, not expecting something in return. And many of us make little mistake in this, right? We say, well, I called you 10 times and you never give me, and you never call me back, or, I give so much of time, but they never give me time, or I do this and I never get anything back. No, you see, that's where we create problems. And that's where, again, this uh, illness inside can creep in. Let's focus on what we can do right. Focusing on, let me just do things right. If you focus on, results, being result oriented, that's what causes the stress. I should do this, I'm going to get back this. That causes us a lot of stress. But instead, I'm going to sow these seeds of good actions. I'm going to sow these seeds of, you know in this way in my life. And you know that once you sow, it'll definitely reap the fruit. So your good actions will never go to waste. Your right efforts, your hard work will actually yield the fruit. Yeah. So instead of focusing on what it will come, you just focus on how I should do it. And I want to do it. You want to serve. And it is bound to come back to you. This is uh, a phenomena that is natural in this world, that so it's a natural law of the nature, that what you do, it's going to come back to you. So you keep serving, you keep giving, but remain detached from the outcome of it. Yeah. So if I am expecting the outcome of it, then what you serve, only you're going to get half of it. But if you remain free of it, you get a full, multiplied by lots of interest. Okay, so serving is important. Smile. I don't think we had to say to people, smile, please, right? I must admit, actually, Sister Lisa introduced me in the beginning. I remember her saying to me once, long time ago, "You are very serious. You have to smile." And I was like, I didn't know that, and I thought I was happy anyway, but that happiness actually should reflect in, and I was happy that she told me that, because sometimes you forget that how you come across in interactions with others is very important, right? You may say, well, I'm happy, but that happiness is not visible on the face, and that won't be good, isn't it? And so we had to be, of course, happy, but then that happiness should also be visible for others. There is a saying that there is no nourishment like happiness. I mean, that's actually a very well nourishment for the mind, for the body. There are many of these sayings here. Smile is a curve that sets everything straight. And you can read this, and I like this one. Of all the medicines in the inner life, a smile is by far the best medicine. And so you have to ask yourself, am I smiling? No, am I having a grin on my face? Am I, are there lines here that I'm not happy, that I'm stressed? No, you consciously make a habit to be smiling, to be happy. That takes a lot of things away. Mm. It's another way to remain carefree in life, to remain happy, to experience this. And little children, why do we like little children? Because that's their specialty, isn't it? They're always like happy, cheerful, smiling. And when you see them, you are energized. Even though you may be tired at the end of the day, when you see them, then something happens to you. You feel energized. So in the same way, you want to be smiling so that others feel energized from you, and that itself is good for you anyway, right? To be smiling. All right, last one. Learn something new every day. Okay, so in the Brahma Kumaris, for example, we learn every single day something new. Mm. We have morning studies, no days missed. I don't even remember when was the last time in the last 20 years that I did not study a day in the morning. No, every day we study. Why? Again, it's all connected. Um, Many things happen. Our mind is, you know, overthinking sometimes, same thoughts coming and going again and again. And so when you learn something new every day, then it's like you're getting a fresh energy into your mind. Something new, because anything new will actually energize you. Anything new makes you happy. Anything new brings you energy. Right? You have new clothes, how do you feel? You feel happy. New year, you feel, oh, new motivations. Yeah. New morning, you feel great. You got a new laptop, you feel, wow, you're excited. You see, anything new will make you empowered, excited, happy, So you learn something new. It could be a simple recipe that you're learning, or learning about yourself. You know that I know that this is not my specialty. Like sometimes we compare ourselves with others. No, they're able to do this, they're able to do that, but I can't do that. So, but it's good to know what you can do, what you cannot do, and not necessarily compare with others, but know that this is what I can do. That is learning yourself about yourself. If I don't do that, then I'm always trying to compare with others and trying to be someone else. You can't be. You can never be. You have to be who you are. But learn something new, um, something positive, right? That's what keeps us humble, because we can always say, well, I don't know something. I can. And it's all right if I don't know something. I can learn something new. But that's also what keeps us always young. Yeah? That keeps us fresh in our mind. That keeps us, um, you know, our life as an open book, to be able to receive something every day and bring new energy every day. Okay, so those are the 10 things to keep your inner well-being. So conclusion, before we have some Q&A, we had to, the keyword today is integrating all these things into your life. It's not one thing I do one day, another thing another day. No, you have to make it part of your life. Integration is a key. Okay, your morning, your evening, what happens during the day, your food, your meditation, integrating all of that, 10 things together. It is good to make small changes and achieve big results, as opposed to achieving big things, ignoring small things. In other words, what I meant to say, these all seem to be small things, little things that we have to do, but they will give big results. The big result here is it, you'll be a happy, well balanced person. Okay, and I want to say that our the previous chief of the Brahma Kumaris, Dadi Janki, she lived up to 104 years. She had many, along her life, along the journey of her life, she had many sorts of physical illnesses. There are times that many people thought that she wouldn't be anymore, but she kind of recovered and came on. But her inner well-being was always 100%. Why? Because she paid attention to all of these things all the time. So there are small things every day, but she lived very long, happily. So many times we say, oh, my body is not well, I can't live well. No, don't focus on that. Focus on all these things that can make you feel well. Feeling well inside is important. You are the master, you can do that. And so self-care starts with your thoughts, right thinking, and it's a beginning to your well-balanced life, inner well-being. So I hope these 10 things are useful. And so maybe now I'm going to stop and see if you have any questions, thoughts, comments to share. And maybe we can unmute so that people can also ask. If not, you can also type.
Yes, everyone has been unmuted, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Hello, thank you so much. Can you hear me clearly?
Maggie, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested in the food. Just now you mentioned garlic and onion is not good for our mind development. So I'm curious, is there any scientific proof of it? Or I want to know, how about ginger and turmeric? Yeah, are they, because they taste similar as garlic and onion, I think. So are they good for our mind or not? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Um, I have come across the some of the articles that do say how these onion and garlic have an impact on our physical, like our cells and our body and things like that. I don't know the terminology of them, and so in other words, yes, there is at a scientific level as well. There are some evidences about why they are not good, but I know the spiritual component of that. That spiritually or for our thinking process, they do have a you know um, hindrance on us. That how they affect the energy level for our thinking. Okay, regarding garlic, ginger and other things, no, we have not heard otherwise, but they are good for us. We do use them, and they don't have any negative impact on the mind. Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Question.
Okay.
Yeah, being a software engineer, how do you put up with the stress, particularly with all the late hours, and still sort of maintain the early early rising and all those things which you talked about it. So I'm also in software, so I'd like you to sort of address from that perspective if you can.
Sure, sure. Thank you. That's a good question. And in fact, last couple of days I slept at very, very late because of my work reasons. Yes, it does kind of jeopardize our schedule, so to speak, because of the work, things like that. But it's really in our hands how we see things and how we do things. So, for example, if what I have noticed for myself is that if I pay attention to all of these things that we talked today, let's say, for example, meditation, if I have made this part of my daily schedule, then whatever you could have done in 1 hour, because your mind is more focused and less distracted and not having too many thoughts, the same task can be done in 45 minutes or less. Like hypothetically speaking, like for some it may take 1 hour, but you will be able to do less than the other one. Why? Because your mind is stronger or having more that energy. So if you think from that point of view, then we can do what all the job that we are doing more efficiently. When you're able to do things more efficiently, then there is less stress. Secondly, sometimes, yes, sometimes things happen such a way we have to stay awake at night, all those things. So we kind of had to balance it out. Okay, all right, today I slept late, so I can't get up early in the morning because again I had to work tomorrow. You permit yourself, okay, today I'll not be able to do what I was going to do tomorrow morning. Okay. But let that not become a habit. Many times we make things a habit. If I make this as a central, like a focal point of my life, then other things will fall around it, will automatically align around it. So my point is that practicing these things, you know, will help us to be more efficient in our job, in our work. And secondly, that if sometimes there are situations where I do have to stay up late or do more, then at that time, I can say, okay, you can say, I can't do this tomorrow, but then I'm going to catch up day after tomorrow. I'm going to catch up in the evening. So, for example, today I could not get up quite early as I could have gotten up every day, but I caught up myself in the evening just before coming to this class because that's my practice. I had to do that. So, if I have that aim, then it'll happen.
One more question in general. Okay, as a Brahmkumari, what besides meditation, other rituals which you say maybe doing it, do you continue to do that, and what role that play in a life of a true brahmachari, Brahmkumari, and yourself?
Well, I'm sure the sisters in the center can further answer your question on the different disciplines that we follow. But all these things that we follow actually are part of our spiritual path that is supposed to um, continue to help to reach the best results in what you follow. And so that is food, studying every day, or getting up early in the morning, or surveys that I talked about. These are all the different components that we do with an intention to grow faster and reap the full results of the spiritual path. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, and a very excellent talk, explained in a very simple terms. I really appreciated your putting together, and hope we can implement at least part of it ourselves. Thank you again.
Thank you, Anil. Okay. Yes. If there are no questions, yes, I'll hand over back to.
Shanti Devbai, thank you so much for joining us this evening and sharing your words of wisdom. A lot of things you quoted were really some excellent points, especially having an attitude of gratitude towards others, something which we may tend to neglect, but so important in keeping healthy relationships and sharing our good wishes with others. So thank you so much again for joining us, and hope to see you again. Come to us, come for a workshop on a similar valuable topic. So thank you again. This session has been recorded. So for everyone who would like to view it again, it's going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. It usually takes 2 days to upload. So after 2 days, you should see it. We'll be posting the link of our YouTube channel in the chat box shortly, so you can pick it up from there. And at 6:30, we're going to start with our meditation. So all of you who are interested in continuing with the meditation, feel free to stay back. All right, that's it from my end. Thank you so much again, Devbai.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.